เวลาจะเรียกว่าปีไก่
Hello, how are you all? Hello. How y'all doing? Just waiting on a few more people to come in before we get started.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, how you doing, J3GS?
All right, and you?
I
I
was
hope
sitting here about to cry.
about to cry.
Yeah.
Why? Because you had people on the other one and you wasn't here.
Yeah, and I can't even delete that one because when I set it up on StreamYard and then try to get up on the actual computer, I didn't set it on the computer, I set it up on my phone. So when I set it up on the phone, it didn't automatically go over to the StreamYard on the computer.
It should
So
have.
it didn't do it.
Hmm.
And I
Okay.
was trying to redo it. So, and then I don't even know how to do the other one. So, how to get rid of that one. But hey,
Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. There was some people on the other one, but
yeah, I see that. And they're still waiting on me. And I don't even know how you get rid of it. So,
let me.
it's kind of frustrating when I was sitting here trying to figure out how to transfer that one on the stream yard that's on the computer, but it wasn't doing it. Figure out how to transfer that one on the stream.
Okay, there's three people in here, but I don't think that's the one. Let me see.
So I just ended up creating this one and was hoping that everybody that's seeing me live would come on this side. And if Miss Sarah Happy Hives watching, let me know so you can come up too. Hey, Gunline
One
B.
line and bees. How you doing, bro?
Gunline, if you want to, you can come up as well because the topic is going to be pros and cons about beekeeping, and I'm going to be new at this. So, those of us that don't know, we would like you to come up and talk about it if it's
Because
okay
she's
with
not a
you.
beekeeper.
Huh?
You're not a beekeeper.
You know I'm not. You know I'm not.
Let me
So, I'll
see.
drop the link again, Gunline. At least J3 did teach me how to do that.
Okay.
So I was like frustrated, like literally, where is J3 at when you need him?
I was here, but you wasn't here.
Yeah, well, I was here, but I wasn't on the one that I actually created with the pretty thumbnail and everything. So this one is just gonna be plain Jane, but it's okay. I'm learning, so
It's all right.
it is okay. Well, I guess we can wait to see if a few more people gonna come in. Is it able for you to screen out to your channel as well? Are you streaming on your channel as well?
Do you have the paid version?
There you go, ask me again.
If you don't have the paid version, we can't stream it out.
Okay, so I really need to get this the paid version.
Right.
Yeah. So
But then again, let's see. We hit it home, but we will jump in a few.
okay,
Um,
guidelines.
uh,
Appreciate you.
let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Mirror touch. Huh.
Yeah, I was listening to y'all this morning when you and Miss T was talking about the content.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I just literally I didn't quit, but I did. The tears were coming down. I was like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay. You see the where it says at the bottom present?
Yeah.
You press on that and tell me everything you see.
Slides, extra camera, video file, share screen.
Okay, touch share.
That's share screen.
Yeah, what did it tell you?
Share screens.
Okay, but did a list come up of where you want to share it?
It said choose what to share with StreamYard. The site will be able to see the contents of your stream.
Do you see YouTube up there?
Windows, entire screen. I don't see YouTube.
Okay, no. Well, that's the wrong one, man. Don't worry about it. That's the wrong one.
Well, I'll go on and do the updated one. So when it's time, then I'll be able to let you all screen y'all's. Hey, Sweet Thumb, how are you? Welcome in. Appreciate you coming in.
So the only thing you really got to do now, you got what, 1, 2, 3. Well, you got 2 people. So the best thing to do is just go ahead and just keep talking until some more people come in. But you don't have to talk about your subject. You just talk about something else.
Okay. Yeah. From us having 78-degree weather yesterday, down to 50-something today. And the winds are strong.
No walking in the park today, huh?
Not today. They said we're on a thunderstorm watch.
Oh, Lord.
That's what I said.
Hello, Sweet Thumb. What's up, bro?
Sweet Thumb, what you doing today? I know you were planning some echinacea yesterday. So what you doing today? I think he said his temperature was supposed to be in the 80-something yesterday when me and Mackenzie was walking on the trail. And Mackenzie ended up getting in that little stream, started putting her hand in the water. I'm like, girl, you all bold and stuff.
Well, it's all right as long as you can see it. I saw the sand and everything. That's fine, just in that little bit. But
yeah, it was really clear. The water was clear. You could actually see the bottom of it.
Right.
Yeah, and I was amazed at that. Yeah, it was rocks, and she kept saying, "Grandma, look." And I was like, "Is any fish in there?" And she's like, "I don't see no fish."
She got to teach Grandma to stop being scared.
She's scarier than me. She's scared of bugs and everything, so she can't teach me. I'm trying to listen. You trying to talk over me? But yeah, J3, I saw you yesterday planting those trees. Now, my question to you was on that is, you said you had 2 of each, right?
Right.
So by you having 2 of each of the same tree, that actually helps you get fruit, or does it matter?
I just get 2 of each kind for pollination, and it's good to have more than one.
Okay.
I've got pear trees, peach trees, and apple trees already out there. I just added some more.
So you're just filling up your grow bags today, Sweet Thorn? Are you putting anything in them? Because I was talking to somebody and she said in order to get the best fruit, you need, like, say, for instance, peach tree. You need multiple peach trees in order to get the best fruits.
Right. It's just, if you got the Florida King, it'd be nice to have the Florida Queen or a Georgia Peach.
I like Georgia Peach now.
It's just having.
I used to love apples, but now I can't chew them, so I can't eat no apples no more. If they're not soft like applesauce, I can't do nothing with them.
Golden Delicious is soft. You can eat that.
With gum, J3.
Yeah, Golden Delicious.
I got soft. An uncle that has no teeth, and that man literally can eat a candy apple with his gum.
Yeah. When you've been doing it for so long, it doesn't matter. And plus, I
Wow.
guarantee you he might be 60 or 70 years old, right?
My uncle, yep, he is.
Okay.
Yep. His name, we call him Wes, but that ain't his real name. We call him Wes. Because he do everything that people in the West do.
Right.
So when you was out there with that, I don't know what you call it. I don't think it was a shovel, but it was like a little thing with a handle that had like a little two little mouse thing, like metal
Right.
pieces on. What is
Right.
that called?
Oh Lord. I don't forgot what it's called myself. If you never asked me,
it's not a hoe, right? No, that's not a
no,
hoe.
it's not a hole. It's not a hole. Actually, it's a shovel for digging holes.
Okay. Is it best? Hey Stacy, how you doing? Is it best to use what you were using, or is it best to use that tool that J3 was using?
I am J3.
J3, I meant lead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I meant lead. Lead had some type of electrical thing that he was digging holes with.
Right. He had a post hole digger.
Okay. So is it
And
best to use what you was using or what
right.
he was using?
I was using a post hole shovel. He was using the post hole auger.
Gunline said Shelton County, Georgia peaches, some of the best.
Hey.
I never had one of those. Now I did. It's my
post hole
granddaughter.
digger. That's what it's called, a post hole digger.
Okay. My granddaughter likes those pink lady apples.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the ones that we buy from the store, they don't look like they real good, but she eats them.
Yeah, they stuff you get out the store, they pick ahead of time anyway.
That's true. That's true.
I don't think you can use the auger. That'd be quite kind of heavy for you.
The one that Led had.
Right.
Okay. So basically because do the trees come bigger than what you were planting?
Some do.
Okay.
Depends on how much money you want to spend.
Yeah, because I don't know. Sometimes when you look for land and you find land in Georgia, most of them probably don't come with fruit trees already on them. You'll look up if you find that.
Yeah, if it's a wooded area, you might get some fruit trees or some wild persimmons. Might get some pecans somewhere in the woods. It's kind of hard to tell because birds fly all around. So when you get up if you got 2 acres full of woods and stuff, trees and all that, you have to walk up in there and just check them. Because I cleaned my property off and I had tons of persimmons in there, American persimmons, and
I never knew what a persimmon was until I got into the garden community. What is that, like some type of orange, or what is that?
No, it's a very sweet fruit.
Okay.
And if you eat it, the American persimmon is a sweet fruit, but if you eat it and it's not right, you might cut the tree down.
That would. I mean, I'm a firm believer in listening to everything that you all said. If everything that's on your property or on your homestead don't serve as a purpose, there's no reason why it should be there.
Right. But if you get a Fuyu persimmons, it could be green. It'll still be sweet, but you're not going to get that real oomph until it turns orange or reddish orange.
Okay. Well, I know my grandmother, she had pecan trees in her yard. She had pear trees. She had fig trees, plum trees, and then the neighbor had apple trees. Right. So, yeah, we were kind of spoiled back in the day living in the country. We didn't have to go in the house too much to get nothing to snack on. We just go out there and grab something off the tree, rinse it off, and eat it.
That's
Stephanie M. How are you? Welcome in.
That's my desire right there for my grandkids. They could just go out and get some fruit, eat that, and keep going.
Yeah, because back at home, back in Greenwood, my grandfather, you remember when you go to school and they had the water fountains, the old water fountains, the tall
Mm.
gray ones back in the day? He actually worked for the school down there as the building engineer, and he actually purchased one of those water fountains and put that on the back of the house. We didn't have to go in the house unless we had to use the bathroom.
No, we had a water hose. If we didn't use the water hose, you just stick your mouth down to the faucet and turn the water on, keep
I
going.
mean, we used to do that back in the day, but he did put one out there and he put a filter on it. So, and my grandparents still, well, my grandmother, she's still living. She still got that water fountain on the back of that house.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
The only thing now is how many kids be back there.
Oh, it'd be everybody used to come to my grandmama them house because she was the candy lady. She used to sell the snowballs, the freeze cups, the candy and all that. So it was kids around. Sweet Thoughts had got the car and could smell the fruit. What car?
Think you mean he got out the car and smell the fruit?
Oh, okay. Gunline B said they're good. We got several American persimmons. The old timers used to tell how the winter is going to be by looking at the seeds. Yeah, I didn't know anything about persimmons, Gunline, until I came across the garden channel. It was a lot of stuff that I didn't know anything about until I came across everybody. And I'm sitting in the background in the bushes listening, like, what is that? I have to go to Google and Google the stuff just to see what it is.
Well, that's a good thing. That's one of the things about being in a community. You learn things that you don't know, and then there may be something that you know that we don't know. Hey.
Yeah, because I never heard of rhubarb or what is it, kohlrabi? I've never heard of that. Yeah. I never heard of that term until I got into the garden community. And I'm like, what is rhubarb? But then I found out about the rhubarb through the Amish community that I used to deliver to. And they used to make rhubarb pie and what is it, rhubarb jams or jelly, something like that.
Yeah, but when I was growing up, we had rhubarb in our yard, but my grandmas tell us we couldn't eat it.
But, yeah, I think you can only eat the fruit because the leaves and the roots is poison. Yeah.
There's a lady that lived right next side us, an old lady, and she used to get the rhubarb all the time. She made rhubarb pie and all this other stuff. But my grandmother was telling, don't eat it, don't eat it, don't eat it. So
have you ever tasted rhubarb before?
No, I haven't.
Oh.
Thanks to my grandmother.
I know a lot of the garden communities, they like the rhubarb. I mean, I've never tried it, but I do know the leaves and the roots is poison. It's deadly to us.
Right.
Yeah. So
it's just the stems that you eat on there.
Yeah.
Kind of puts in mind the celery.
What part of the celery you can't eat?
No, it puts you in the mind of celery.
Oh, well, yeah, it does look like a celery.
You cut the leaf off and then
because kohlrabi, what is it? Kohlrabi? That looks weird to me too. I'm like, what part of that do you supposed to eat?
You can eat all of it.
Wow. See, I mean, stick around long enough, you'll learn some things.
You can eat the leaves and you eat the bulb. You can cook it or non-cook it. Hey.
Yeah, but I was waiting to see if Sarah was going to get in so I could invite her up on the panel as well.
Well, she might still come in. You can go ahead and start.
Well, my topic is, because I got 6 people watching. You know me and my notes, right?
You'll get away from it sooner or later.
I know, but when I'm talking about a subject that I have no idea about it, I only know the pros and the cons of beekeeping. The pros is you get some amazing honey, and the con is these things hurt. So, them are the 2 things that I only know about the pros and the cons of beekeeping.
It's kind of like the birds and the bees for me.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, that's true. We ain't gonna get off into that subject. That's another
thing. Birds eat your food and bees will sting you. That's it.
Okay. What would be? I mean, let me ask you this. Hold on, let me ask you this.
Now,
Gun
now,
line, if you're
let me
still, huh?
go ahead.
I was going to ask Gunline, is he still listening? If he want, he could type his answer in the comments, and I'll post it, and then we'll read it until you can come on live with us. Now, what was you gonna say?
Okay, now I put it to you this way. What I'm telling you is how I do bees, not the
Oh
way
no,
you
I
should do bees.
understand. Everybody do
No, no,
theirs
no, no.
different.
This is a disclaimer. This is a
Okay, okay,
disclaimer. I'm telling you how I do bees, not how you should do bees.
okay,
That's a disclaimer.
okay. Well, J3, first and foremost, introduce yourself to the people that's watching that don't know you, and tell them a little bit about yourself and your channel.
Okay, who on here don't know me?
I don't know now. Stacy don't know you.
Who's
She
Stacey?
just texted me. She watching, but she didn't. She hadn't commented though.
Okay. I'm J through GS Farms. I'm a farmer. I deal with animals and I do bees.
And they call him what? The honey slanger.
J3, J through GS and Jigs.
Yeah, that's true. Sweet Thumb said for the folks on the replay. Yeah. For those of you all that's watching and catch the replays, we appreciate you all coming in. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share. My first question is, what makes you take up beekeeping and to become a bee person? What made you get into bees?
What made me get into bees? Something I just want to do. I wanted the honey, and I heard people talking about bees, and I stepped out there and got bees and got stung up, but enjoyed it ever since. I started beekeeping at the end of 2017.
Okay, well, yeah, you've been doing it a while. Yeah, you've been doing it a while. So, did you learn the art of beekeeping from someone, or were you self-taught?
Well, I watched a lot of video beekeepers, and that's basically it. I watch the beekeeper and I see what they do, and I go out and I try to do what they do. And plus, I also got a beekeeping for dummies.
Oh, I'm gonna need to get that. Let me write that down. Beekeeping for dummies.
Beekeeping for dummies.
Do you know who the author is? Does it say the author's on it, or it's just
Halen Blackiston? But just get a beekeeping for dummies. It's all the same. See that?
Okay.
Beekeeping for dummies.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up because
they have a bunch of different books out here for beekeepers and stuff.
Okay. How did you get your hives? Did you buy them or build them?
My very first one I bought from Amazon. After that, I started building them myself.
Is it easy to build them versus buying them?
Well, if you're a woodworker, it's pretty easy. But if you're not a woodworker, it's a little difficult.
Okay. Yeah. So if you're talking to a beginner beekeeper, someone that's actually into bees, would you recommend them to try to build them themselves or try to buy their first ones?
If you're a beginner beekeeper, I suggest you buy your first ones. Okay. Now, if you're a woodworker and you just like to do things, you could build your own before you start.
Okay.
But
that's a good idea.
But since how you're not a woodworker, I suggest you buy your first.
I am a woodworker, J3. I build a lot of stuff. I just don't show it. Plus all my saws and mills.
You almost got a pause on you, but yes, ma'am.
Yeah, all of my stuff is in storage right now, so I can't do anything until I move.
Okay.
Yeah, but I do woodwork. My grandfather was into construction and he was a carpenter. He taught me well.
Okay.
Yeah, I can paint, draw. I do a lot. So
So the best thing still would be for you to buy your first set and
Okay.
use that as your example.
Now I've noticed that some people have beehives, but they have them like inside like a building. Like I guess to keep them warm all year round, or it's like a
No,
structure of a building. Like say for instance, like a shed, but the shed is actually the bee columns, and they have multiple ones built inside the shed.
no, I believe that's if they're inside a big building, they're mostly storing their bee boxes. You can't keep the bees inside a building.
Sweet Thumb said, "Are you using templates to build?"
Well, not really. I I know woodwork, so I read and measure and do it myself.
Hey, lawn lifters, welcome in. Appreciate you coming in.
I think I did a video back in 2018 of me building some bee boxes.
So, is that on your channel now?
Yeah, it should be if you want to go back and look through
Oh, I'm
that.
gonna go back and look at it because I want to see you do your thing and put a likes on your video.
Uh,
So I'm gonna
when,
go watch it.
when it come to woodwork, majority of the time you'll see me start and that be it, and you might see me finish because I don't like stopping and having to talk or do something. It's just me and me taking time out to address the computer and all that stuff. That takes time out and takes my mind off what I'm doing. So you'll see when I start, you'll see in between, and you'd see the end. That's basically it.
Okay. Well, if there's someone else in here that has experience with these, if you want to come up, I just dropped the link for you to come and join us. J3, I have another question. Most people do not react well to the sight of swarming bees. Were you afraid of the bees when you first started out as a beekeeper? If
No,
yes, how did you overcome that fear?
no, I didn't have a fear. I was stung by a bee a few times before I even had bees, but after I got bees, I think it was my second or third week. Uh, you think you know something, but you don't. I went out, took the cover off the bees, and start messing with the bees and everything. And I was not aware of what I was doing. And the bees let me know that they were the boss.
Okay,
They
so
start. They
with
start.
my situation, I'm not a beekeeper, but that's something I want to do, right?
Mhm.
I'm not afraid of bees. I'm just afraid of being stung by them. And I remember Sarah's Happy Hive saying that the bees do know when you are afraid. So with my situation, how would you recommend me to overcome that?
Okay, the way you need to overcome it is by joining a bee group. Uh, I forgot the name of it, but join a bee group where you go to somebody else's place and you learn about bees, and you'll go in the area where they're in their apiary while they're working with the bees. You'll be there also. But one thing to it is you have to realize you can get stung at any time.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
It's a
I just
process.
run from them. I run.
Now,
I take off running.
if you run from, that's one way of alerting the rest, alerting the bees. And when you run from them, a lot more will end up coming at you.
Okay. So I just got to put on my big girl drawers and go out there and face my fear.
Right.
Okay. Do beekeepers, well, you just answered that question, so I'm not gonna even ask you that. We always use the phrase as busy as the bee. Just wondering, do bees sleep or rest at all?
Yes, they do. Bees coming before it get dark. Bees start coming in. Uh, my thing is, and I've heard many times before, the best time to check your hive is uh, after. I think it was after 9 o'clock and before 5, something like that. because the bees know about the weather too, and they start coming in, and you don't want to mess with the bees while they're all coming back home.
Okay. So what is the term bee flight?
Uh, I don't know.
I've been reading about it, and what I've read that they were talking about when the bees start flying and they fly like they're an airplane. How do you prevent them being in the pathway of your animals or you? Do you create a barrier so the bees
Yes.
can take flight somewhere, or how does that work?
Majority of the bees, when they come out of the hive, they come out and they go up.
Okay.
They're not flying like a plane or anything. I've never seen them fly like a plane or anything. Now I got water set about 25 meters in front of the hives. Now they might come out and go to that. But when the bees come out to do their thing, they come out and go up. They don't just fly directly for it. They come out and go up.
Okay. Um, how many hives do you have total? Because this question is gonna be reference to that.
Okay. I had four. One got smashed. Now I have three. But by the end of before the middle of March, I will have I will have about six hives.
Okay, so when your hives are sitting there and the bees are in their particular columns, do the bees recognize their hives, or will they actually go into another hive, or are they designed just to go into the hives that they are supposed to be in?
They know where they live. They know where they live. If they usually if they go into another hive, they're doing what you call is robbing. They're robbing another hive. But the bees know where they live at.
Okay. Rudy, welcome in. Thank you for
Rudy
watching us.
Rudy is the timekeeper.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
He's a timekeeper.
Okay. So is there somebody telling us what the time is?
Something like that.
Okay. Can okay, say for instance, you are the owner. Do the bees recognize you, or you just another person to them?
No, I believe they recognize their owners.
Okay. Do bees from the same hive have different temperaments like human? Have you encountered the most aggressive bees and the gentler bees? Like what type of bees do you have?
Yes, uh what was it? I forgot what kind of bees well, I got those bees that attacked me. They came from a different source, a different place, but it's kind of what you do to the bees. That time I went out there, I had cologne and all that other stuff on, and I learned you don't wear any kind of fragrances when you're messing with the bees.
Okay. So when you have that, do you use a smoker?
Yes, I do.
And do you use it all the time when you go out there?
No, I don't.
Okay. Do you
When
wear your unit your beehive every time you go out there to the bees?
no, I don't. Sometime I can go out to the bees and I don't have my headgear on. I don't have my gloves or my smoker. If the bees are calm, I can take and go in with the bees and just look. I'm not doing a whole bunch of moving around and everything, but certain things I might take one or two frames out just to look at, see what they're doing, put it back in, close it up. That's it.
Okay. Now my question to you, um, give me some pros on becoming a beekeeper.
Pros on becoming a beekeeper. Uh, you'll get a new name.
Welcome in, my Renaissance grandma. Thank you for joining us.
You'll get a new name that you never had before. Uh, you'll get honey, and the difference is you'll get many different honeys depending on where you live, what you have growing around your area. You can have yeah.
She
You
made
can
sure
have
she gave you that name.
you can have you can have two hives and have two different types of honey in it for the simple reason you weather plays a big role in the temperament. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But you can have some one hive would be like the honey is light and you have a familiar taste, but you can't figure out what it is. And then another box, you might just hate the honey, period. It just don't taste right to you. And that might be because they went to some place where it got some strange flowers or whatever. But the thing is, it's still honey. It's just that it's not flavorful to you.
Okay. Is that all the pros that you have for it?
Well, the biggest pro is you getting honey and it's beneficial to you. That's the biggest pro ever.
I know.
And
I told you
and
my only
and,
two pros were honey
and
and the
also financial.
okay. Okay. So how many hives do you have to have for it to be actually beneficial, which beneficial for you if you want to start selling your honey?
Well, if you want to start selling honey, you can have one hive to do that, but it depends on how big of a audience you want to have to start selling that honey. That depends on what it is. Well,
Okay.
see, and my honey is I have a lot of honey, but my family didn't eat a bunch of honey.
Hey, Gunline.
What's up,
Thank you
Caroline?
for coming up.
How
That
are you?
that's one of the reasons I had so much honey is because uh, my family didn't eat it, but I had bees and I had honey, so I was selling some, and I was saving a whole lot. And the wife says, these buckets ain't gonna stay in my kitchen." So I start putting them in bottles, and it was better putting them in the gallon bottles instead of leaving them in the 5 gallon buckets.
Gunline. I know you've been following us since we've been on here. Do you have some pros or cons about well, what got you into bees?
Well, Hannah, she'll probably join us here in a second too. But I guess kind of a short story is Hannah and I were first responders. We got 30 years combined in fire and EMS, and when we hung the hat up, as they say,
Mm-hmm.
we had to find us a new adrenaline rush. I reckon best way to put it, and we kind of started throwing around the idea of getting into honeybees because at our church house there was a colony in one of the I guess preacher houses, if you will. Whenever we have visiting preachers, we have somewhere where they can stay and all. And there was a colony of bees in there, and we had talked 3 or 4 months. Well, I was really pushing more the issue of, hey, we got to get them things, you know. And it just kind of went from there as far as the short story on that. So it was just more of something to occupy our spare time outside of work and to be able to enjoy some of God's creation.
Okay. I mean, I'm interested in becoming a beekeeper, but like J3 said earlier, to join a beekeeping group, club somewhere
Yes, ma'am.
that's local here. And what would be easiest bee species to keep? And I've been reading about Italian um buckfast bee stock or some start with a C, say cornolian.
Canola.
Canolian.
Yes.
Do you all have any of those?
Our stock we usually keep. Now we're going to, there's a gentleman, Mr. Larry Gandy, that is often in our chats, and kind of give you, we're down in South Alabama and just outside of Mobile. And Mr. Larry, he's right across the state line in Mississippi over there. And the stock that we started off with and we still have are Italians.
Mm.
As far as if you're looking to getting into bees, that would be where I would start because oftentimes they're more of a gentle stock
Right.
And they do produce when the season is available, as far as your floral and things like that, they do produce a wonderful, wonderful honey crop. And which your taste, it was kind of listening to y'all a little bit as we was coming home and everything, but your taste will vary during different times of the season. You know, like right now, we was noticing coming home today, the blackberries are starting to bloom, and it won't be long before they'll be ready for picking for pies and jellies. But the bees, they'll pull a nectar source off them blackberries, and you'll get a good sweet honey off of that, and you'll get that hint of blackberry taste in there. Then as you get further along, and Jay, I don't know if y'all have a bunch of them up there in Georgia too, but we have a lot of privet, and it's just a lot of people use it more for like a hedgerow, that type thing. But it's an invasive species. It's not native to the States or anything like that, but it produces a wonderful honey crop as well. And you'll get a little bit, it'll be a lighter color honey, and it'll have a different sweetness to it. Then as you get into closer of the summer months, we have they call it I guess the real name of it is a tallow tree, but oftentimes we refer to it as an old popcorn tree. And it'll have a little tassel that comes off of it. And those things produce good heavy amounts of nectar. And the bees, they'll come in, and you'll often hear people refer to the tallow flow. And once you get into that, you'll have a different taste as well on your honeys. So I guess I'm gonna try to keep it simple for folks. That way we don't get confused on anything. But if you're wanting different taste, you can pull your honey after you start seeing the blackberries making a berry. All right, go ahead and pull that honey because you got another flow coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I read on it that you should pull it twice a year. Well, harvest your honey twice.
Yes, ma'am. Most folks do out the states, and thankfully for many of us that are in the southern states, we can probably do a good 3. You know, if it's a good season, it ain't no problem to pull 3 different times. Because if not, you can get into it'll be another subject later on for you maybe, but you can get into what they call honey bound. So if you don't start pulling that honey, they don't have anywhere else to put it. So they'll fill that colony up, but that creates negative within the colony because the queen, she doesn't have anywhere to lay. So you got to keep equipment on them so that queen, she can make a big colony on top of having your workforce out there getting your different nectars.
Okay. As a beginner beekeeper, you will recommend them get how many hives to start off?
Most folks suggest that you get 2 colonies.
Mm-hmm.
That way, if there's trouble in one and not in another, you can start figuring out what the symptoms are of a failing colony, whether it's due to insects such as hive beetles, the varroa mite, wax moths, or did they just simply get into poison somewhere because somebody put some weed killer out,
right,
you know, to kill the brush line? Or is it a different issue far as we're saying an infection or virus within the colony?
Okay, so that's what that comes to the question I have on swarming. When the bees swarm, most times when a bee leaves their columns, they're fighting what diseases or leaving diseases, or what would be the reason why a bee would swarm?
it's too many bees for that. Go ahead.
That's it. Go ahead, Jay. You good?
Too many bees for that hive.
Okay.
When you see them constantly bearding out on the outside, you got to look at your hive and check it out to make sure that it's not that crowded on the inside. And if it is, you need to take some of them and put them in another hive. You might have to get yourself another queen, but you need to take all those that are bearding out, move them over to another hive.
Okay.
Like,
What is the? Oh, go ahead, Caroline.
just like we getting into spring right now. So we're in the very
Excuse me.
early stages of spring. So it won't be too long before, by nature, they're going to swarm anyway, especially during the spring season. So they'll give you signs of, okay, look, like Jay's talking about, we're getting a little overcrowded in here. And they'll start making queen cells. And once you start seeing those queen cells, that's a good sign of the queen that is laying right now. She's telling the colony, look, there's too many of us in here. We fixing to go find a new place to live. And she'll fly out, and so many thousands of bees to go with her, or, so many hundreds, just depending on the size of the colony. And you'll have them queen cells left in the colony. And once they hatch, she'll go out, do a mating flight, come back, and just nature repeating itself.
Okay. Well, can you give me some of your pros to beekeeping?
Some of the pros of beekeeping. I guess the number one, like everybody says, you get that good fine honey out of it. There's many other things you can do with the resources that are in the beehives. You can collect so much of your wax. A lot of folks like making candles out of the wax, or they'll make lotions and lip balms and those kind of stuff. Then the bees, they'll bring in different saps off trees. And most often down here it's mainly pine saps, but there are many other ones kind of blended together, and that's your propolis. And the bees use that for disinfecting. They use it for clogging up holes to keep a draft from coming in and out of the colony. But that propolis, when you collect it, it's got many health benefits as well. So there's many different resources you can use outside of just getting your honey off of it, especially if you're a home remedy kind of person and like to stay with more natural healing products.
Okay. So what would be some cons?
Hold on to your billfold.
Did you build or buy your hives?
When we was trying to get the colony from the church house, we had built our first little box.
Okay.
And got them in there. But after that, we got with folks to buy, the first couple ones that we purchased. We got the kit off Amazon where you get your smoker and hive tool. Then it gives you so many boxes and frames and things like that. But as you build and grow into it, if you can do the woodworking, that's wonderful. You'll save on that in a sense, but oftentimes it kind of seems a little bit cheaper and time saving to purchase boxes and frames from people, and you just simply assemble it whenever you get home.
Right.
I was reading that it was talking about the space, about whether you should put your beehives near your house, or if you have like an open metal land, that it's best to have your beehives 20 feet apart from each other. Is that correct? Or how does that work when you're inquiring about bees and where you want to put them? How far away do they need to be from your house?
For us personally, we try to keep them away from the house. They're probably, 100 feet from the house right now, because if you go to getting too many at points, it can get overwhelming as far as the bees traveling back and forth. And whenever you're trying to come inside with stuff, you have that potential of coming in contact with them, and they may not sting you, or you just may run into the one that's just, she's got a bad attitude that day, and she may try to pop you just because. But if you got a field or a wood line, put them a good bit ways from the house, but yet close enough whenever it comes time to pull your honey, you're not carrying a 70-pound box of honey, 200 feet up to the house. And kind of put them along the side of your wood line there. That way they can go whatever direction they want to go, and you ain't got to worry about trying to, mow around them or anything like that with them being in your way.
My Renaissance grandmama says she need the wax for her business, but also needs someone to manage and maintain those hives. I'm like you, G-Mom. I'm like you, Renaissance grandma. Welcome in, Urban Gardening Chronicles. I appreciate you coming in. Okay. Basically, y'all answered all my questions about the pros and the cons, because like I said, I did some research on it, and the pro for me was the honey and the con was the bee sting. So, but I know it's a lot more to beekeeping. How do you keep pet diseases and stuff down when it comes to your hives?
Oh Lord, folks will give you about 20 different answers in the beekeeping world. Like far as the varroa mite, a lot of folks use the oxalic acid vapor. They do have different kind of strips that you can place within the colony at certain times of the year. You can't put them in during a honey flow, anything like that. You have to wait until after your honey flow to put those strips in. The hive beetles, people, I'll give you our best experience. That is our biggest nuisance, is the hive beetle.
Right.
And we tried buying the little cages that'll catch them and different oddity and things like that. But there's a gentleman here on YouTube, Hillbilly Earl, Hillbilly Beekeeping. And he introduced the beekeeping world to peppermint. And we had started putting the peppermint candies in, and we noticed a huge difference as far as the numbers of hive beetles not being in the colony. But since then, we've transitioned over to peppermint extract, and we've added just a very, very small amount of eucalyptus oil to that. And this past season, we did not have nowhere near the issues with hive beetles putting that peppermint extract and that eucalyptus mix in the colonies. We was putting it on the top rails, out of the way where the bees won't be getting in it, that kind of thing. But that has been the number one that has been a blessing to us to keep those blasted hive beetles out. Now, the wax moth, early to late summer, going into fall, they can become a nuisance more so, especially in a weaker colony. It's a little moth, and they'll get in there and they'll lay a larva, but they go through and they dig through those cells and end up destroying the cells where they'll have babies. Usually, most oftentimes, it's around where they have pollen or the bee larva or eggs in there, and they can quickly turn a hive into, the best way to explain what it looks like, they create a webbing, a silk, and they can cover those colonies and cause them to abscond, which is a swarm that you don't want to happen.
Right.
Okay. Like say for instance, when someone call you for a bee swarm, is it for somewhere else's property, or do you generally get it on your own property?
Well, it could be another fellow beekeeper, in that area that just wasn't able to get into his or her colonies and do splits and prevent them from swarming, or it could just be a colony out in nature that's in an old oak tree or something like that, where they just by nature, once again, they'll swarm out on their own. But Hannah and I, we try to kind of, I wouldn't really say stress to folks, but if you get into beekeeping and you get in a swarm, especially in your yard, and they're at to the point to where they're all in the air and swarming, that is one of the most common and relaxing events that you can experience in nature. I know it sounds crazy,
Yes.
but the bees, they're not flying around looking for somebody to sting. They're at their most calm state whenever they're swarming, because one of the main reasons, they don't have a place to protect, so they're not going to be, I got to protect my house to keep whoever's trying to get in or a critter out, kind of thing. So they're 90% of it is just a relaxed state whenever they're in swarm mode.
Okay. J3, do you have anything to add?
He said it.
He did.
Well,
he pretty
does.
much was on the road driving and listened and came right on in and handled his business, and I like that, and I appreciate that.
I think he's a bigger beekeeper than I am.
Okay. How long have y'all been doing the gun line?
This is Hannah and I's 5th season, and we started from scratch and started, like majority of people, we found some folks in our area that beekeep, and we kind of watched their content and just kind of picked up off them. The main thing is find somebody that knows what they're talking about and can give you good guidance on how to properly take care of your bees.
Would that help me here, even though I'm moving? Or should I just wait till I move and then find somebody? Or just going to get the knowledge, and then when I move, I could be prepared?
It's good to
go
get
ahead.
the knowledge. It's good to get the knowledge right there of Indiana. But when you come to Georgia, it'd be good to get another bee association and learn in this area.
Okay. Okay. Because I know Miss Sarah said that she was trying to get a meetup with me and Miss T now, and we can go down and meet her so she can give us some knowledge. So that'll be good. I could start from there. But then I'm also looking for a bee club here. I don't know how you go by finding one, but I'm guessing if I get on Facebook, I could find somebody.
Look up Bee Association for Indiana.
Bee Association.
Yeah.
Or just talk to Miss Sarah. She's in there.
Yeah, because I'm interested in it, but like I told you, my fear is not of the bees, it's of what they can sting you with.
If that's your biggest fear, save your lunch money, as I say, or as I tell folks, save your lunch money and get a good quality suit. That way, first of all, it's going to last you much, much longer, and you have a much lower risk of taking a sting if that's one of your biggest concerns. Now,
yeah, that's my biggest concern, is the sting, because that hurts. To be honest, that hurts, and then I'll whelp up if a bee stings me.
So are you allergic to bees?
I'm not sure, but I will whelp up. I don't, have breathing problems when a bee sting me.
You might need to check and see whether talk to your doctor and see whether you're allergic to bees also, because it would
come up on my allergist test. I have to get an allergy test every, when I go to the doctor, and that didn't come up. Grass, trees, dust mite, horses, animals, all of that came up, but bees didn't come up.
You got to be careful, because Hannah, this past earlier in 2023, she would go out. She has arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis in her hands and joints
Don't
and things
talk
like
about
that.
it. Don't talk about it, gun line. Don't talk about
But
it.
she would go out and get stung on purpose
Right.
to help relieve the arthritis. It would nullify much of the pain and swelling and joint issues that bee venom is beneficial to certain parts. But
Okay.
from year 1 to, we'll say, 3.5, she never had any issues getting stung. Well, we was out there one day and she got stung. And as quick as I could turn around and set my hive tool down, I turned and looked at her and she was just blood red, going from her head down to her arms and all that. And she started telling me I can't breathe real good. Well, long story short, we had to get the ambulance, get her to the hospital, and thank the Lord they had enough drugs on the ambulance to keep her stable until she got into the hospital.
Right.
And that was just, it just took that one sting. So a good piece of advice we can give is whether you know you're allergic, but you still want to kind of try to tinker with them, or if you really don't know and you've never been stung, you can still talk to your doctor and say, hey, look, I'm getting into beekeeping. Can you write me a prescription for EpiPens?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have EpiPens. I got 2 of them. I have to keep them with me every day.
There you go. Keep your
Well, you
EpiPens
got
with
the
you.
head start.
Yeah, I have
That's
to go. When I say my allergies, they have to take, when they do my allergy test, they stick me 70 times and they inject me with everything I'm allergic to. I go get an allergy shot twice a week. So my EpiPen has to stay with me.
yes, man.
Yeah. So that's the only fear of it's overcoming being sting and not running from the bees, because I'll take off running in a minute. There go Miss Sarah. How
Well,
you
man, don't
doing? Welcome in. Welcome in, CC. So,
it.
and that's the only thing, because J3 said when you run from the bee, everybody else gonna come with the other bees that you run from.
Yes,
Yeah.
man. They don't see us as people or anything like that. They see us as a threat.
Right.
Okay.
And their whole point and mission is get rid of the threat. So it doesn't, we got to protect our home just the same as somebody try to come in our home. We're going to protect it and neutralize the threat. So the honeybees, they're going to do just the same in their house, pretty much.
Okay, well, we're gonna get ready to end this, but it's a question that I want to ask you all, and then we'll leave out on that note. J3 and gun lines, what would your advice be to beginning beekeepers, the do's and the don'ts?
Well, my first thing is get a book,
Yeah, I
read the
know.
book, watch
Beekeeping for dummies.
videos, join the bee association, and don't be scared to get stung.
Okay.
When we just talk about it, one reason I know that I wasn't allergic to bees because I got stung over 50 something times at one sitting, and I was scared, but I put me another pair of pants on top of my pants, went back out, closed the bees up and everything, and then come back in the house, took my clothes off, my wife started counting all the red spots on me. I had over 50, I got stung over 50 times.
Ooh, they tore you up.
Ooh, J3.
I was a new beekeeper. And like I said, don't wear all that cologne and all that. Don't go out there with no kind of fragrance on.
Okay.
Go out as raw as you can go.
Look, that's it. It kind of mirroring what Jay is saying. The Beekeeping for Dummies, and they have another good book. It's called The Beekeeper's Bible, and it gives the history throughout the ages of beekeeping, and it has different topics in there to how to take care of your bees at a beginner level. Then you can advance later on through the years as you get into beekeeping.
That's too much to read, though.
J3, is there another way that I can add Miss Sarah up here? Or is it 3 just
Drop
fine?
your link. No, you're I think that's gonna be it right there because you're in free version.
Okay, so just 3. Because Miss Sarah wants to share some sting stories.
Okay. I'll drop down and you can let her
I was
come
gonna
up.
say, I'll drop out and let Miss Sarah come in. That ain't no problem, Jay. But we hope and pray y'all enjoy it. You get into it, take your time. Don't rush anything in it, and just have a good time doing it. Do it.
No, I'm not gonna
That's
rush
it.
it, but I do appreciate you coming up, Gunline, because before you go, introduce yourself to the people that don't know you that's watching so they can go over and subscribe to your channel.
Well, we Gunline Bees. We down here just north of Mobile, Alabama. We just old country folks, just simple people loving the Lord, and we do a little bit of beekeeping, just kind of show y'all a piece of our life, if you will. But 90% of it is in the beekeeping world, and we're a husband and wife team,
Right.
so it's just a blessing all around.
Right.
All
But
praise. I sure
we enjoy it.
appreciate you.
Thank you for letting us come in. And Jay, we'll holler at you later, brother.
Hey, tell the wife I said hey.
I'll sure do it.
All
Y'all take
righty.
care.
You're
All right, have
welcome.
a good one.
Miss Sarah, I dropped the link if you want to come on up. Lawn Lifter says clock tortoise looking up.
Clock tortoise.
You might know what that means, Jay.
Must be Añegaseo. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But Miss Sarah said the library has a lot of beekeeping and related books.
Right.
And Miss My Renaissance grandmother says she'll pass on the beekeeping.
We just want the substance of it. That's all.
Yeah, I think back in the day, I would be one of the ones that says, you know what, I'll just buy me some honey. I ain't worried about nothing else. I find me a honey keeper, a beekeeper, just buy some honey from them.
Right. And then again, a lot of people don't know they buy the honey out the store.
You look good, Miss Sarah. You look good. You
My hair. Don't look at my hair. I'm on
How
my
you doing?
phone. I'm in my kitchen. I did that puzzle a while ago.
Oh, I like that. Is that sunflower?
Yeah.
Yes, I love sunflowers. I love sunflowers and roosters.
That ain't gonna work. I gotta do it like this. Hang on. I'm trying not to repel this technology.
Oh, I was crying earlier trying to figure out how to work the technology.
Oh,
And Jay was actually on the one that I had created, but I couldn't figure out how to get on that one. So I had to do another one.
Well, we'll learn together because I'm still learning all this stuff too.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to see you guys in this afternoon. My daughter
appreciate
just
you
left.
coming up.
I was not planning on it.
Well, I do. We're gonna keep it short because me and Jay been on here an hour and 13 minutes. But
Okay,
I'm gonna give you 10 minutes to share your pros, to share why you became a beekeeper, your pros and your cons, and what advice you will give to a beginner beekeeper.
Okay. One, except you're gonna get stung. It will happen. So yeah, they prepared you for that part, and they sting you in the weirdest places. Sometimes my daughter got it on the bridge of her nose, and it was an axe. It was just she walked into their flight, and it was boom.
Wow.
And so a lot of times it's our fault that we get stung. So we can't really get mad at them. They're just doing what they're doing.
But you're gonna get mad anyway.
Well, I find if you take that emotion to the apiary, they're gonna come after you and try it. But if you try to stay, curious and just try to see what they're up to, because my heart can get racing. I get I was scared of getting stung too, but once you get stung a couple times and you know what's coming and you know how your body reacts to it, it's not that big of a deal. It does hurt in certain places. Like, really, that's uncalled for hurt.
That's what my Renaissance grandmama just said. It's painful.
But and yet I still do it. So I must be crazy.
Because you got a passion for it. You got to have a passion for it, you know.
Well, and it was like I was talking about with Miss T. I think it really started with dandelion jelly. I made that dandelion jelly that one spring, and I joked around, well, maybe it'd be easier getting honey from the bees because those little petals on the dandelion is tedious, and you got to get just the petals and so many of them. And it is actually kind of easier harvesting honey from the bees.
I would imagine. I would. So, what would be your pros and your cons of being a beekeeper?
I don't really have any cons. I mean, there is a lot of work. Because I have 20 hives. Colonies.
Oh, wow.
And so I have at least one or two I can get into every day.
Wow.
But I do recommend, if you're going to begin, start with 2 colonies.
Okay.
Because looking back, I had the one and it died. And maybe if I would have had another one, it would have went differently. But we can't go to woulda, shoulda, coulda. We got to go forward. And grab a hold of the next season. And it's not going to be like last season. We might have a dried up flow before we start, like somebody did. Somebody had a really bad season last year. Was it Alabama, Mississippi?
Mm.
The tallow flow. I think it was south. Because I'm in southern Indiana, but I'm still north. And I'm trying to remember the rest of my train of thought just derailed.
Because you wasn't expecting this. I thought maybe you would have came on earlier, but I figured you were busy, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, my daughter was here. She we were trying to find her a doctor because of her blood pressure is too high for surgery, so they got to do all of that. And she just left a few minutes ago, so I was checking up to see what I missed, and here I am.
Sweet Thumb said Mississippi was crazy hot and dry last summer.
Yep.
Gunline B says we had a terrible season. Most of the Gulf Coast had a bad season 2023.
I can't see the chat on my phone. I apologize for that.
Oh, no problem.
But I do want to say hi, everybody.
And I do appreciate you all climbing up. Oh, Miss Sarah, introduce your channel. So if anybody wants to go to subscribe to you.
Oh, thank you. Yes, Sarah's Happy Hives. And I'm only on YouTube. You won't find me on the Book of Faces or the X or anything like that.
Well, we're going to go on and close it out. And do you all have any closing remarks?
Just have a great afternoon. And if you're going to do it, just learn like you're hungry. And you can't get that, like, you can't eat enough to get full.
That's true. Sounds
good to me.
Read books and just soak it all in. And because I really enjoy doing it. And I hope that if you start, you will too. And I know Jegs, he enjoys it.
Well, I want to come visit you whenever you would let me and Miss T come.
Well, email me. Get in my email.
I couldn't find your email on your page.
I'm Sara. I'm a no H Sarah.
Okay.
And Sarah at sarahshappyhives.com.
I saw that, but I thought that was a website.
That's my email. It is also my website, but
Look, I thought that was a website. You like, I don't know nothing about no computers. I was like, okay, she gave me a website. So what am I going to do with this? So, but I do appreciate.
Appreciate.
Thank you. I got tongue tied. Now I need to put some teeth in my mouth so I can say the word right. But I do appreciate you all for coming up and everybody that's watching. If you catch the replay, I appreciate you all watching us. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'm getting better, but not better, but I'm getting better.
Keep going, and I'll keep going too.
I sure appreciate it. And y'all have a good day.
You too. We'll catch you on the next one.
Love you guys. God
bless.
Y'all
be blessed.
Be blessed.